Hey, we're gonna do a keybind video. So I made one of these before, but it was flawed in a couple of ways. One, I recorded it in the middle of a mission and you didn't have my full attention, which is not the way I like to record videos. And movement changes came to the game and actually swapped up a lot of my binds and many of yours. So this is gonna be kind of a multi-parter. We're gonna have display settings up front, and then I'm gonna switch to the actual keybinds. You can check the timestamps down below if you wanna just skip ahead of that, but I'm gonna go through my display settings. So I updated Windows a while back. I will stand by the fact that full screen gave me the best performance for a while, but I updated Windows, and I don't know what Windows update was responsible for this, but this just works fine. I cannot discern a difference between windowed full screen and full screen for me personally. If you're one of those people who is seeing a difference, maybe you should update Windows. I don't know, but I am also on a multi-monitor display. So I got 5, and then sometimes my TV is connected, and I split the screens with my laptop. So I can get up to 7 monitors, not all on one PC. It gets tricky and complicated, but Windows full screen is very nice because of I can move my mouse away. And of course I'm at 144 because my monitor is 144. Someday if I finally bite the bullet and get a 240, which is not unlikely, then it'll be 240. So yeah, brightness, I do notice the 0.02 is just 100. 0.02 contrast. I have no colorblind issues, thankfully, but you can adjust this to your needs, of course. I don't think I have much to say on that, but I do notice that 0.02 contrast, so I keep it just like that. And then anti-aliasing off. I just want them to be as hard natural edges as possible. That's the Battle Royale player in me, and Save the World, it looks fine. 3D resolution's 100%. Far is fine. I've never noticed epic on Save the World. I don't think this matters too much. Shadows are off because they just lag the game, makes everything darker. I don't enjoy it personally. I did turn them on for a video and it was bad. Very, very bad. I have a 3080 and we dipped under 144 FPS. Not okay. Textures are epic because they look great. It seems fine. Auto download, I just leave these on. If there's any reason I should turn these off, you can comment down below. Effects are actually a new one for me. So I used to have the old mantra was playing Battle Royale. It was epic, off, off, epic, epic, low. And that just was how it was. Now there are more settings. That mantra doesn't work anymore. But I used to have effects all the way to max. The reason I turned these down, and this was easier to show when I was in game, but when enemies are spawning in and they make that lightning effect, you know it as soon as you see it, that actually affects your performance more than you might have known. I was not aware of this. Archer said to turn it down to low. I was like, yeah, why not? And it really helped. I don't notice what I lost by turning effects down, but my FPS went up, so recommended. Post-processing is low. Again, I don't remember what the difference made here was. Again, FPS just went up when I turned it down to low, so we were good. VSync. I actually prefer VSync. This is not an accident. Some people might not, but especially as a content creator, I do have the opportunity for screen tearing without VSync, and it feels fine even when it's on, so I just leave it on. Motion blur off 100%. That's definitely. I know a console player as soon as I'm watching because they've got shadows and motion blur. I do prefer to see my FPS. If you don't, turn it off, of course. Show grass off. I don't prefer to see the grass. It's just sort of a lighter, fuzzier texture, and it's rendering more things I don't care about. So grass gone is nice because there are actually searchable grasses in the game as well, and having this on kind of gets in the way as well. I'm on DirectX 11. 12 always gave me issues, and I don't need performance mode because I'm on a 3080. But performance mode does work on Save the World now, so if you need it, you can turn it on. I don't know what that is, don't know what that is, and don't know what that is, so I just leave them how they are in case I break stuff. For my game settings, I don't think this matters too much. I'll just go slowly through this in case you want it. I'm an endgame player, so I auto-recycle as much as I can, but I don't think there's anything super important. Tap to search is nice. I do really enjoy that because I just hold down my F key while I run around. We'll get to my keybinds in a second, of course, and that stops me whenever I start searching stuff. So yeah, I'll just kind of go over that slowly in case you need it. Let's get to the stuff that everybody is here for, and these are the keyboard controls that I use. So this was quite painful. In fact, if I can fish this out easily, purchased a new mouse because I am a huge fan. Is this going to work? Great. Yeah. So I am a huge fan of the Model O minus. This is the console player. Oh my God, what is my problem today? My Battle Royale player, my Battle Royale playing history was using very, very lightweight, very, very fast mice. This is 58 grams. I am a very, very big in FPS games. Anybody who's watched me play probably knows that I do that. Anybody who's watched me go up to a target practice knows why I favor these mice. So I looked at the Model I, and this was just the only glorious ultralight mouse with more thumb buttons. But my thumb is very short. Yes, feel free to make fun of me. You'll not say anything I've not heard. This button over here, basically unusable. This button up here didn't get a lot of use. And these two buttons on top were nice. I have nothing to say about that. They're nice. But the extra weight was very noticeable. The change in size was very noticeable. I'm a very, like, claw, just fingertips on my mouse. It's amazing the way it skates around my desk. I very, 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 very much so like this mouse. So I purchased a new mouse because movement made my hoverboard usable, which was previously unbound. Crouching exists when it previously was not. And there's now a sprint key, which I've never used before. And I used shift and control for my abilities forever. And so it was a lot to adjust. And so this is where I landed. I did not want to make this video right away because I wanted to get used to these keys, and I wanted to wait until I was recording on a break day so that I made plenty of mistakes during what was supposed to be a one-take recording. So there we go. These are the movement changes that I've... this is my final keys after the movement changes. So move forward, you know, A, W, S, D, whatever, spacebar to jump. Auto run is U. I actually do use auto run. Sometimes as a streamer, there's a lot of things that goes on. So sometimes I pick a direction and I just reach over with my thumb to hit U, and that's all I need. It used to be like H, but we'll get to that in a second. Crouching is control. I think that's where crouch should be. That's why it frustrated me when it came to the game, because shift and control were fantastic for abilities. I really, really miss it. Phase shifting with control was super nice. You hit it with my pinky and you dash around the map. And I lost that. But crouching is important too. I use it a lot for sliding. Reload is C. The old story I always tell is I got used to PC keyboard and mouse by playing like Minecraft and then PUBG and then Star Wars Battlefront 2. And even though I only put like 90 hours into that game, the reload in that game was cooldown. So I was like, oh, C is super convenient, and I've been using it ever since. And that is just where it's landed. A lot of people give me crap, but nobody can give me a good reason to use R, so I stick to it. My use button is F. Some people use E. I prefer F. The best keybinds are whatever's most comfortable for you. Harvesting tool is Q. I tried to change this, but I've been playing BR since January of 2018. That was locked into my brain. Anything else that became Q was way too much effort. So Q is my harvesting tool. And I didn't want something so close to my hand to be taken up by something as innocuous as a harvesting tool, but you do have to break rocks and builds, and it's an important thing to have. So I didn't feel too bad. My weapon slots are a little interesting. I scroll up for my first weapon slot and down for my second. That is super convenient. Noobs will scroll in between their entire hotbar. Not recommended. Not recommended. When you get better at the game, you'll make a mistake and you'll be mad at yourself. I scroll up is my main weapon, down is my second button, and second weapon. And something that I had to learn, my middle click forever was upgrading builds, which is not that important, and it's a button that you're almost always just right next to with your pointer finger. This is a high value button. So I now middle click for my third weapon slot. Don't know why I didn't get used to that sooner. It used to be 4 because I could like bind that really easily and I can reach forward and hit 4 pretty comfortably. But that is now my consumable slot, which was added to save the world. So between the consumable slot and the 3 movement changes, there have been 4 new keybinds to keybinds that haven't changed in years. I was going to say a player that hasn't changed theirs in years. And yeah, so gadget slot 1 and 2 has just been 1 and 2 forever. And then ability slot was number 9. I don't think there is 3 ability slots in the game. What is this number 9? I don't think I ended up using that for anything. No, we do have a number 9 ability. Oh, I know what I did. I have to show you my mouse software. Yeah, I considered recording this in game, and this is why. So on my mouse software, yes, number 6. The button on the top of my mouse is number 9. So I confused myself there, but there you go. If you have reprogrammable keys on your mouse, it is highly recommended to use this one. It used to be for Discord, but I just rebound that to F4 to auto or toggle mute. Very important, especially when you're on stream and you need people to shut up, or if you just don't want to get in the way of the conversation, is a much nicer reason to mute. And then you now know that I got 1, 2. I skipped 3 because my fingers don't work like that. 4, 5, and 6. So 5 and 6 are where my ability slots landed. I tried X, I tried Z, which is my cone, so that was weird. I tried V and B, but I just end up hitting my spacebar all the time with my thumb. 5 and 6 are what my other ability slots are, and that is okay. I am still not getting used to it. I still make mistakes all the time, but they're okay. I can lean my hand forward while I'm phase shifting. It's not too big of a deal. It's mostly been fine. Yeah, I have not gotten comfortable with anything other than those. Wall and stairs are J and O. You might have noticed that this is just on my mouse. These don't matter. Just keys that are far away from anything you'll hit with your left hand. So that's that's basically as simple as that. E is my floor. That's just something I got comfortable with a long time ago, and now it is just stuck with me. Z for the cone. I'm pretty proud to be able to hit that fairly comfortably, quickly, and I've used it in fights and gotten kills, and that's worked for me. So I use Z with my index finger down here. And then my trap key is T. And while we're on the note of traps, I actually want to skip ahead because a lot of people ask me about my trap picker. I use my trap picker. So when I hit G, it pulls up the menu of all my traps. Super useful, extremely useful. It's really, really, really convenient. And I highly recommend binding that because a lot of people don't know what's here. As you can see, it's because I had to scroll down all the way ahead to get to it. It's not right next to the traps, which is where trap picker should be. Place is left click, of course. Repair. So that used to be my middle click button. It is now V. Now you can just hold down V and then run around. That is important because I wanted to be able to have full range of motion, and then I would guide myself with my mouse. So I basically just, move around with my fingers, thumb goes on V, and then I just move my mouse to wherever I'm upgrading in game. That's been working well for me. Rotate building is also my reload button. Nice little hot tip. When you are pulling out your keybinds, when you're pulling out your builds, you're not holding a weapon. You don't need to reload. So your reload button is now freed up. So I made that my rotate building button, and that totally works for me. Change building materials, right click. It's pretty standard. Select building type is P. I don't know how I get away with that because I don't think I use P for anything at all. Building edit is R. So the one that people typically use to reload, I edit with, and that's another one that I cannot swap that. Your edit button, especially if you play BR, should be extremely easy to reach, and so mine is just R, and that's as simple as that. Crouch is left control like we mentioned. Crouch while editing, it's the same thing. So yeah, select building edit, yeah, it's pretty standard. Chat, I don't ever use, but it's enter. Place a note, this is important because you want to talk to your teammates. Even when I'm like in a voice call, marking stuff on the map can be useful. I just put that somewhere way out of the way. This is something, if you're placing a note, it's not like a fast action situation. You can hunt down a key that you're not comfortable with, so H is fine for me. Emote is N. This was B for the longest time, but I rebound my B, like I was mentioning, to try and keybind other stuff, and then I just got used to it being N, so now it's N. It doesn't really matter, but I do prefer to have a bound emote. Toggle harvesting tool. I don't even think that's a thing you can do. What does L do? I have no idea. Trap equip picker, G, like I mentioned, and then X. Switch hotbar or use personal vehicles. So X became my hoverboard. X, like I said, I was trying to use abilities for, but for me, I have to like squinch my thumb up in there. It's not a very convenient key for me to hit, but you just have to hit it while you're running in a straight line. Like I said, when you're using the hoverboard, it's not typically a dire situation, because if it is, you're just going to take damage. It's going to cancel your hoverboard immediately. So I just made it X, so I can have full range of motion with my mouse available, and then I just use that to use my hoverboard. Gotten pretty used to that. That one has worked out fairly well. Unfortunately, it's very close to C, so I often find myself reloading or crafting ammo while I'm trying to be using a hoverboard. Oops, but that's just my fault. I've gotten pretty used to that. None of this is bound. Respawn is all pretty standard. Toggle map is M. Again, I just reach over with my thumb. That works for me. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I now vote with B instead of emoting, which is fine. And then F is just, the standard use button. So there you go. Those are my keybinds. A couple of mistakes, but it's meant to be a casual information-based video anyway, and this is supposed to be a break day, and I'm deciding to record videos because I'm a workaholic. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you learned anything, I guess. I'll see you guys next time, and yeah, take it easy.